everyone. So this is Step It Out 2 or Task 2 for 11.6. So if you can turn your page to 288 in your books. And at the top you're going to notice the second word problem that we're going to solve today. It says Dorothy swims 2/5 kilometers. Duke swims 3/8 kilometer. Who swims farther? Use a common numerator to compare the fractions. So you're going to list multiples for these numerators. So what's going to be different about this one is that we're going to be comparing numerators, not denominators. So we're going to try to make the numerator the same instead of the denominator. Now, I don't usually compare our numerators, but it can be done. And so I want to show you. Typically we do the denominators, but let's take a peek. So Dorothy swims 2/5 of kilometers, and then Duke swims 3/8. And so what they want us to do is look at the numerators here. These are the numbers that they want us to make the same so that we can then do comparison. So let us now, it says list the multiples for those numerators. So let's take a peek at those. Let's start out with our 2. And we're trying to find one that is going to be common for both 2 and 3. So let's list our multiples. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. Let's see if we have to go that high. Let's take our 3. 3, what's our next multiple? 6. Our next one would be 9. Do we have anything in the common so far? Yes, we do. We have 6. So this is what we call our least common multiple. So we're going to use the 6's to get to our common numerators. All right, so knowing we're going to use 6. So let's take, and we have to calculate, and how are we going to, what is this going to look like for our 2/5? So if we want to get the 2 to 6, what do we need to multiply by? Well, we know that 3 times 2 equals 6. So let's calculate. 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 5 is 15. Let's try to find out and calculate for the 3/8. And so we know we want to get this to a 6. And so how are we going to get the 3 to a 6? Well, we're going to multiply times 2. 2 times 3 equals 6. 2 times 8 equals 16. So now we have our 2 new fractions. So 2/5 is equal to 6/15. I'm going to erase this so you guys can see it. Okay, let me rewrite it. So we know that 2/5 is equal to 6/15, and that 3/8 is equal to 6/16. So now it's our job to find out which one, using who swims the farthest. So 6/15 and 6/16. So we have now common numerators. Our denominators are different. So you need to now look at the denominator in a different way. Because these are the same, now we can compare our denominators. But if you think about the larger the number in the denominator, the smaller the fraction. Now this took me a little while to think about. So you have to think about it. I'm going to say it again for you because it's very tricky sometimes when you think about this. The larger the number in the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So 15 is actually larger than 16 when you're talking about fractions. So 6/15 is larger than 6/16. So going back, we know that 6/15 is equal to 2/5. And who swam 2/5? Well, Dorothy swam the 2/5. See your name, Dorothy? Okay. And Duke swam the 3/8. So now making the comparison, who swam farther? If you said Dorothy, you would be correct because the 6/15 is larger than 6/16. I wanted to show you this concept again because this is something it can be a little tricky because we're talking about it in reverse. So let me just show you real quickly using my tiles. I want to say, let's take and compare 2/4 and 2/6. Okay? If you were to take the tiles and create 2/4, here is 2/4, 1 and 2. When you add them together, they equal 2/4. And here is 2/6. So look at your 2/6. 6 is a larger number than 4. But when you put them next to each other, you're going to notice that the 6 is smaller when you're talking about fractions, because that is now broken up into many more little smaller parts than you are talking about when you're talking about quarters or fourths. Okay? So 2/4 is actually larger than 2/6, because the denominator here is larger. And when the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. Okay, you can compare them when your numerators are the same. All right, my friends, I hope you, if you have any questions, please let Miss LaFaux or I know through your Google Classroom. You can post it to us, and we will try to do our best to answer any questions. Good luck on your work today.